Senator from Rhode Island and impeachment trial juror, as all senators are, Sheldon Whitehouse. Senator, thanks for taking the time this morning.
Good to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
So it's our expectation from reporting that a point the president's defenders will make is that there's no difference between the president's alleged incitement of January 6th, the claims about the stolen election, and the comments of Democratic leaders and others during violence following George Floyd's death last year. What's your response to that equivalency?
Well, it's false, and the obvious differentiation is the events of January 6th. We actually had a mob that was, in fact, incited and that came up to the Capitol and that looted and ransacked the place with the intention of disrupting the constitutional process of transfer of power, and did so at the behest of and at the direction of Donald Trump. So you can, that was a one-timer, and it's really impossible to compare that to anything else. There's a lot of, political rhetoric out there. This was different, and the prosecution showed it.
It's CNN's reporting that the president's lawyers will only take a fraction of their allotted time to defend the president. Do you believe that's because they think they have a strong case, or because they believe they already have most Republicans in the bag?
Yeah, no, I think it's the opposite. They had an absolutely terrible opening day. They got mocked and panned across the country, and most particularly down at Mar-a-Lago. And then the masterful presentation by the House managers, which just was a brutal clobbering for the defense. It was really powerfully presented. So what they're now down to is basically having Republican senators who are politically predetermined not to convict. So their best case right now is hang on to those senators, don't blow it, stick to your brief talking points and get out before you do anything wrong. So I think that they're just trying to hang on for dear life to the politically predetermined senators, and they don't want to waste any extra time or risk putting on another bad performance that actually drives people away from their political predetermination. They can still blow this.
Senator McConnell, the minority leader, is clearly, deliberately allowing it to go out there that he hasn't made up his mind, that he may still vote to convict. And I wonder, do you believe that? Do you believe he's still on the fence?
Whether or not he truly is on the fence, I think it's significant that he's allowing that to get out there. And I think it expresses some real hesitation that he has about the position into which everybody was put by this president when he sent that mob up to this building and put Mitch's own colleagues and himself and his staff and our vice president all in very considerable danger. So this is very real. When we saw that footage that the House members presented, those are hallways that we know. You take a shot at a corner or at a ramp or where Chuck was running or where Mitt Romney was turned around or where our colleagues were fleeing. We know those places. This is intimate and familiar. So I think it's pretty real to Mitch. And while I doubt he'll end up voting to convict, I think he's sending an important signal that he is deeply disturbed by all of this.
We should note, if folks forget, that his wife, Elaine Chao, resigned from her position following January 6th, citing the president's comments. I wonder, though, the politics, as you note, are predictable here, probably. I don't want to, eliminate the possibility we're surprised, but that the president will not be convicted. We know that after his acquittal in the first impeachment trial, that he was emboldened, that he interfered more in the political process, not less, after that acquittal. If he is acquitted, is he emboldened? And more key, perhaps, are his supporters emboldened, including those who are willing to carry out acts of violence?
Well, I think the acquittal will likely embolden the fringe of hardcore extremists who consider January 6th not a day of infamy, but a day of victory. And that small group is dangerous, and I hope law enforcement will address them very effectively, starting with the investigation into January 6th. But that is, that's out there, and I think that is a legitimate concern. I do think as far as the House case went, even if they don't win in the Senate, they had multiple audiences. They had the American public. They had history. They had their own consciences. And I have no doubt that they won in all three of those forums. And if they can't get, for political reasons, senators to convict, I think the power of their case will be a lasting testament that will do damage to President Trump, perhaps has done already significant damage to President Trump.
Well, Senator Sheldon, Whitehouse, we know you got a busy day today and perhaps a vote as soon as tomorrow yourself on this. Thanks for taking the time.
Good to be with you. Thanks.